Hello, today I'll be walking you through 1.1.4 in economics, and this will look at PPFs, or Production Possibility Frontiers. This video will aim to cover everything in the specification from the use of PPFs to the distinction between movements and shifts of the curve, and the distinction between capital and consumer goods. So what is a PPF? A PPF shows the maximum output of a combination of two goods produced efficiently with given resources and technology in a country. The opportunity cost is shown through the slope of the PPF, and the steeper the slope is, the higher the cost. Shifts out of the PPF show economic growth, and so increase in production capacity, and the opposite for decline, where it is shown through a shift inwards and a decrease in production capacity. I'll use this graph on the left to show the different points on the PPF and what they mean. So points A and points B are on the curve, and this indicates efficient resource allocation and fully utilised resources. In other words, the economy is operating efficiently. However, if a point is underneath the PPF, it shows that resources are allocated inefficiently and so are underutilized, and this is shown at point C. Now, any points beyond the PPF or above the curve are unobtainable, and this is shown through point D. It's really important that we know the distinction between movements of the PPF and shifts. So movements show a change in resource allocation, and this indicates that the combination of goods produced in an economy has changed. Whereas shifts show the changes in production potential, and this translates to economic growth or decline. And this is due to an increase or decrease in the quality or quantity of resources available. Most of the time, the axes of a PPF are labelled capital goods and consumer goods. So let's talk about what each of these are. Capital goods are the goods used to produce other goods or services. And so investment in these types of goods leads to economic growth. This is things such as machinery. However, consumer goods are purchased for personal consumption, so satisfy wants and needs of consumers. This is things such as food and clothing. Capital goods will lead to long-term growth, whereas consumer goods provide current satisfaction, so may not lead to long-term sustainable growth. So now we've covered everything in the specification for 1.1.4 of microeconomics. So I look forward to seeing you next time, and make sure to like, comment and subscribe.